That's what I do with my banjo. 3, 2, 1. She'll be coming around. Just got that. I guess the first thing I wanted to do is thank you again for participating in this class. It's exciting for Gail and I to have some people read it. So thank you for that. Shelley just asked me to talk to you guys about kind of more like the language piece of it, a little bit of TPRS. So, in case, look at this nice thing that Gail. I mean, just isn't that cool looking at all the different languages? I mean, I'm not really so great at reading these. Now, why?
You need Catalan. Benvingut.
Well, there we go. We have another one to add. Catalan.
Benvingut.
She'll write it for you. So why can't I say these, guys?
You don't have it in you.
Language acquisition.
Right, I haven't, Sarah said it, I haven't heard it yet. I might be able to recognize that that's how you say welcome in Turkish, but I'm never going to be able to say that unless I've heard it enough. So, I mean, this is perfect comprehensible input right here. So I clearly know what it means. Well, actually, there's no English.
How are you going to provide comprehensible input for Turkish?
Or Russian.
Well, I personally am not. But that's the point, that just because you're reading something, I know what it means welcome, but I'm not going to be able to say it because I haven't heard it enough. And how many times do you have to hear it?
70 times.
120.
Wow, 60 to 160, who knows, right? Everybody processes differently. For the 25 kids in your classroom, some might need it 15, some might need it 115. So I'm a pretty slow processor. Like I still cannot get, I can't remember what I can't get. Okay, so I just like to take these. This is Nikki's classroom. Look at these awesome words. And we got Liz up there. She just,
It's open, but if it's shut, it's locked as Hilda shut it. So feel free to go in.
okay.
Hopefully at the opportunity, goldfish crumbs on the floor. Right?
I had her stay, so this is her wall. I mean, look how, if you haven't been into her room, I mean, she does a really great job with word consciousness, really putting the words everywhere. And the reason why I put up Gail's welcome was today I went in there and I asked, what's your favorite word? And Paulina, do you remember what she said?
Rub.
Yeah, she said rubbed. And I lost it, but I can be
Jesus,
honest.
what? It's not rugged.
I didn't even get it because it wasn't comprehensible enough to understand. And what she meant to say was rugged. So even though that's her favorite word, does she own it enough that I understood what she meant? No. And then, so we circled rugged some more. And then I even said, why do you love rugged so much? I love rugged too. Lots of rugged. And she said, I love it because you can be on a bumpy road and that's really rugged, which is true. But then I said, well, what about the bottom of my shoes? Are these rugged? And she said, yes.
A little bit.
A little bit rugged. So they're worn, but they're not really rugged. So then I sent them out to look for a rugged road. And then they were looking for, did you find a rugged road? Rugged road. But they needed to hear the word rugged a lot more. So basically most of today, do you think I'm talking loudly enough?
I think.
Okay. It's going to be you guys practicing. First, do you have any questions about the TPRS language piece that I can answer right away? Or any things that you really... Nothing? Okay. Then I wanted to kind of share with you a presentation really quickly, just kind of shrunken up what Ashley and I actually did for CCRA. I think it was, I thought it was pretty good. But I think it's pretty relevant to what we're doing here. So let's say these are our 4 structures that we need to teach. Glanced, marched, emerged, and mass. Here we go. The first one would be
Glance.
glance. So what's a question you might ask of your kids, or how might you get that started?
Glanced.
Did you glance at the answers you
Oh.
saw on my desk?
Oh, were you glancing at the answers? Excellent.
What is she glancing at?
What is she, oh, look at Paulina, what is she glancing at?
I glanced at my homework without it.
You just glanced at some kids are glancing at the answers, some are barely glancing at their
The
homework.
questions.
At the question, barely glancing at the questions.
Martina
Yeah, when you spend a lot of,
glanced quickly at her tutor.
Who?
Martina la cucaracha bonita glanced quickly at her new suitor.
So that's fun, because look at everyone smiling. Now, what if you don't know who the Martina la Cucaracha is?
I don't know.
So
I
that's
don't know either.
I was trying to think of the La Cucaracha.
So this kind of this happens a lot in class where you start engaging your kids and something is funny to some kids and then the rest of the kids are completely lost. So that's when you take your iPad out and show Martina la Cucaracha so that everyone's clued in to, like I mentioned Adam Levine one time.
Oh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And they didn't know who it was? Is that happening right now? No deal? You're not sure who he is?
No, I don't know.
Boy.
Oh
Judge
gosh,
Boy.
someone get him. Can you pull him up real quickly?
Yeah.
Okay. So here, like we're all smiling about Adam Levine, and you got someone who doesn't know.
Yes, ahora sí que sé quién
Su
es.
guapísimo.
Ya hablo moreno.
Yes.
Ya es.
Okay.
I
Yes.
know who it is.
Okay.
El más,
She's gonna get it.
más guapísimo hombre
Del mundo.
del mundo un año pasado.
Ah,
Really?
Oh, nice.
Wow, I didn't know that. But anyway, so that kind of stuff happens in your classroom. Like some kids are, oh, that's so great, and then you got one.
How would I like him?
Why? Because he sings.
Okay.
Just
You
kidding.
guys are going all on looks, I know it.
You know.
Weird, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going by the ink.
I know he is.
My wife
Pero
likes
ahí no está tan guapo.
Okay, what about March?
That's not a good picture.
Typically, you do this, right? But nowadays, what kind of March is everybody talking about?
The month of
it.
Oh, and it's almost the month of March. Well, that's so smart. I didn't even think of the month of March when you just said that. I'm thinking about these kinds of marches. The march that was in Denver, and if you had your kids have parents that went to the march, and we just actually had a march last week. What was the march last week? A day without immigrants. That was a big march. And I mean, we don't even do this kind of marching that much anymore. Unless you happen to be in the
preschool.
marching. Oh yeah, and then I would pull up. Wait, what did you say?
You're in preschool. Yes, you do.
Oh really?
We march all the time.
Oh, okay, good. Physical therapy, you march too? Did you guys see Ryan in the marching band?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, thank you.
literally last week.
Saxophone.
Yeah, he was in the marching band. So that would be fun. If he was going to teach march, you'd have to have a picture of him before and after in the band. I, of course, would play the Michigan fight song, knowing that that's the #1 fight song in the world.
I don't.
Okay. No, really. Kind of like Adam Levine a year ago. Yeah, Michigan fight song.
How
Yeah.
did who permitted for that?
It wasn't even me.
Show me your dad.
I'll find the data. Okay, what about a world like, so obviously here I used a lot of what? Visuals. But lots of times our kids come up with this kind of word. What's your visual for emerged?
Somebody like synchronized swimmer girls coming out like
Emerging out of the water.
Or a
Hatching.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like
A chick hatching out of an egg.
Excellent, excellent. Those are all great.
a whale.
A whale emerging from the water. But you'll be surprised maybe that the word emerged comes up more regularly like before the crisis emerged. Tactics emerge. When people eat a strange disease emerge. So sometimes it's not so much that physical chick coming out emerging, it's an idea emerging. So if you're not sure how to find an image for emerged, just type in the word emerged and look at all these examples. Our kids need lots of examples of how emerged is used in context. So, for example, rugged. We don't say this. The bottom of this is not rugged. So I can tell her that, but then I need to give her 5 examples of what is rugged. We say rugged like this, and same thing with emerged. And for me at first, it took me actually Googling it and seeing how it's used because I wasn't really cued into listening to language like that. Now I can't really help it. Like on the way home, I guarantee NPR is going to mention emerged, maybe 2 or 3 times. My favorite example is the mass. How many actually before this, when we did this with a bunch of 4th and 5th grade teachers, guess how many had taught emerged? Gail, did you write a book? Yes, that's exactly right. Nobody taught emerged in the room, and they were honest. Like, no, I've never taught that word to my students. But when I said, how many of you taught mass? Every one of them almost had taught mass, but they taught this kind of mass rather than, which is okay and part of science standards, but what about all these masses? So being really cognizant of the way that mass is actually, not that this mass is bad, you need to know this too, but they're gonna come across this in all, I mean, even in Lynn's class.
It was in my book today, or our chapter, we're reading an abridged version of Call of the Wild, and a
What?
wild mass.
Jackal.
Did I? Yeah, exactly.
So I was like,
right?
oh, there it is.
So then, in theory, once you have kind of asked some questions about mass and glands, you would create a little, what? A little story around it. So at your table, based on these words, you got 2 minutes. What kind of storyline would be interesting with these words?
Sophia Glanz.
And so, Todd, you can just join a table wherever you want. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, okay, now wait a minute. What could we do while they, for the rest of you? I know you're all going to be paying attention, not glancing at your phones, of course. Glancing at your computers, okay? Because I know you're tweeting. What could you be? What's something else you could be doing while this is going on besides pretending like that maybe this isn't the first time, or it is the first time? What could you have given your students?
A little
Picture.
paper to, or
Ye-
something to
Yeah,
write
a
it,
paper of each one of these. What about they had 4 pieces? You know, they had glanced, mass, and every time these they have to hold it up every time they hear the word. Ooh, that's okay.
Another sentence there, I had to get my repetition.
Oh.
Okay, this is my creative partner, Emily. The princess emerged from the dungeon and glanced around to see if her enemies were waiting. She was thrilled to see a mass of soldiers who marched off into the sunset. She whistled and her pet parrot emerged from the shadows and marched to her side with a slight glance to his princess.
Oh my gosh! Woo! Awesome. So
We
should
just
be
wanted
writing.
to going to.
So you could that's a great little storyline, it's not super long, and someone could be the princess, somebody could be the parrot. You could do some circling questions in that, from where did she emerge, how many soldiers were marching, at, where were they marching, all those kinds of things to get more repetition. Ooh, I love it. Do you guys want to share yours?
Go ahead, Sarah, you got a good one.
I don't remember mine, yours was the good.
Okay,
Oh, God, there's something,
how about
there's,
that? Or just a little piece of it.
yeah, we glanced over at the march and my friend emerged from the crowd. Something along those lines. And then we went to mass to pray for our friend.
Praying for your friend at mass.
The mass would shrink.
Oh, prayed that the mass would shrink. Oh, okay, perfect. So, now if you might be thinking, oh, I don't think I can come up with those storylines by myself. Does anyone think that kind of? Because that seems really impressive.
Yeah.
And you might think,
It might take
oh,
longer for some.
it might take longer, or the story can be shorter, or when we were asking questions at the beginning, when you're asking your kids who went to a march, then usually I use what the kids give me to create a story from that. So the story that we created was pretty, it had to do with someone going to the march in Denver, and same thing, they got on the light rail, went to Denver. What else happened? Oh, emerged from the train, mass of people. And the part that I liked at the end was this person was so excited about the march, they went home and wrote letters to their senators. And that was good because not everyone knew who.
Cory Gardner.
Or, and is anyone wondering why we didn't get 2 pictures of the same? Because I would confuse them. I mean, if it were Adam Levine, it would be clear, but I was afraid I would not know which one is which. So this is definitely Cory Gardner, and this is Michael Bennett. But they didn't send a letter. What did they send? They didn't send an email. Good guess. They didn't send a tweet. Even better guess.
Glance?
No, they sent. That'd be good.
A mass amount of
They
letters.
sent a
Snap.
snap. They snapped him.
Oh, they're gonna get that
So
one.
that's pretty good. Nobody thought that was good. So here's another thing. How long each? I mean, even though that was a little bit of a story, did you take 45 minutes to do that?
No,
No.
you gave us 30 seconds.
Right. So sometimes maybe I only give you less. The point is, not always in our classrooms, especially if you've got mixed group, you don't have time to create this 45-minute long story because you've got content to do, you're reading something, you maybe just don't have that amount of time. So how can we still use repetition, input, but move it along a little bit, knowing that you've got other things to do. So I think that's kind of what we wanted to do today as well. And the other thing, I can't remember if we talked about this, word consciousness, that idea of really bringing being curious about words. And across this building, that is getting so evident when I walk in and someone's like, oh, it's great to look at this word I found, or Miss Maxwell, look at this, or Miss Arvinson, or all across the building, showing the fact that the word, look at those dirty fingernails. But there it is, emerged, and this was munch. I think this might actually was the one that showed up on the park or something. But these words are everywhere, and kids are now being much more cognizant to them, I think, than they maybe used to be. So the more that you can take pictures of those in honor, kids asking questions, what does this mean, really important. So who are the best language teachers? Besides you guys all? Well,
Steve.
actually, yes, Stephen Krashen, pretty good.
Bill Van Patten.
Bill Van Patten, I don't know about him. He's probably good, but probably not the best.
Parents.
Even myself, I would not say it is one of the best.
Parents.
Shelley, yes.
Ah,
Parents are the best. Let's see if it goes. Who remembers?
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important email to a colleague.
Well,
Skip ahead.
remember who this is?
Oh, yeah, Mom.
Then you guys all go.
All the leaves are brown, leaves are brown, the sky is gray, and the sky is gray.
That one doesn't exactly fit for teaching a language structure, but when I thought of mamas and the papas, I couldn't help but put that in there. So I do that we taught Reunited with Pam's class, and those kids, reunited and it feels so. They don't know exactly what that means, but they know what reunited means. Oh, sorry, did I lose it? Okay.
There's some inference.
I'm learning at school, Mom.
Feels so good.
Yeah.
My teacher said so.
So what is Ryan doing?
Reading.
He's reading and
Talking, repeating.
he's talking and he's reading.
Praising.
And it's a friendly, it's a loving environment, safe. What is Solon doing?
Loving it.
He's also feeling the vibration in his dad's chest, so he's associating that vibration with print and constructing that schema that print produces sound.
Wow. Excellent. Yes. And so what are the two things that when we're talking about what's going in his ears? Input, right? So he's listening. He's not exactly reading. He's doing what Emily's talking about reading, but tons and tons of listening. So Ryan's not saying, repeat after me. He's not putting this pressure on him to speak at this age. And sometimes, as much as we want our kids talking, they can only say what we just showed it earlier on, what they've heard. That girl, what was it again? She called it rubbed?
Rubbed.
Rubbed. She's never going to say anything else until she's heard rugged. That's a weird word. So parents are the best language teachers. So what we try to do as much as possible is replicate that. Lots and lots of input. Remember, what's that buzzword? Comprehensible input, which is listening and reading to something you understand. This one you guys are supposed to laugh. Do you see the second picture?
Yes.
People kind of get that it's different, so I have to wait for you to laugh. But yeah, so listening and reading, and then so I did this I don't know months ago, and guess what somebody said that meant?
Thinking?
Well, now you guys know so much, it's like, electricity?
Closed circuit?
Right.
I mean, but, so, even that is to me, I was trying to find something that was understandable. How do you find an image that's understandable? Well, obviously I couldn't, because she said electricity. Like, well, that's good, but that's not what comprehensible is. So, you know, we think images are
Actually,
great.
it is. In your brain, all those synapses create that energy. So
I
that
should have said that. So then I just followed up with this. Listening and reading to something that you understand. I didn't have a great picture, I mean, thank you, Paulina. Wasn't as good. So, and how can I make this even better? Listening and reading to something you understand.
Putting
Your
pictures.
slides?
Well, just in general, kind of what Ryan and Solon. So lots of times we're giving kids something that hopefully that they're listening to or reading that they understand. But if it's boring, forget about it. I mean, even in my native language, I mean, I'm sure you guys are all very interesting, but there are times where I forget what someone said because it wasn't super engaging. So the more that, even Doug Fisher said this, the more compelling and relevant that input, the less repetitions you're gonna need. So that's kind of where sometimes those online programs like Rosetta Stone, so boring. You may have heard it 1,000 times, but there's not a lot of interesting context. And earlier, when you were giving examples of the Mass and the March, like that's interesting stuff. And really the world right now is pretty darn interesting and engaging. And you know, the content that you're teaching is interesting and engaging. So this part, just so we're remembering, input, input, input. It doesn't mean they have to say it. Does that not mean that we don't want them to speak the target language?
Well, they will.
They will eventually, and then there's times when you know that they know it. What can you do?
give them choices.
Give them choices and hold them accountable to using it. If they don't, and you can tell when they're in target language, and all of a sudden they'll say something like, no, not found. I mean, they are trying. They have not heard found enough in their target language to be able to say it. So then it's your job to go give, and Nudie does a really great job of that. You know, the kids are speaking Spanish, and then all of a sudden an English word will come in, and you'll take that word, and she'll go to put it on the board. And she doesn't take 30 minutes. She'll take 30 seconds to circle through that word again. So I think being really aware of that. Okay, so kind of the steps in teaching language. First is you gotta what? Choose your words. If you don't know what language structures you're trying, doesn't really happen through osmosis. You could talk at your kids all day long, and you ask, what did they learn? And they're gonna say what? Nothing. I mean, maybe that's not true, but even if you are trying to teach glanced, marched, you might not get it. But at least know what you're trying to teach. So where do you find the words? Is that how that
What you're learning about, your planner, the stories that you're reading, like the benchmark stories that they're supposed to
benchmark stories have great words. Paulina, where do you find yours?
A lot of them is just classroom routines and stuff like that.
Classroom routines. You realize that they need to be able to know just to get along at your level. In some grade levels we have, if you're teaching novels, we've already pulled out the language structures that we already need. Brad, where do you get yours?
Yeah, I was gonna say, realize a lot come out of there. This whole group, just through some novels, through class discussions. Some kids have higher vocabulary that would start about.
Liz was saying that she's starting to get a lot from her own personal reading. Like, oh, I bet you this is a word that fourth graders should know, but don't. And so she's bringing those words in. So just in your own regular life. I came across this word today. Not so much screencastify.
Additional?
No. Although these would have been great, Rook has requested. Additional would have been great. Permissions.
Allow.
Deny.
Both of these words, it was a second grader, but it was a second language learner. And, you know, I'm like, read it, like wanting her to read it, and then realizing it doesn't make a difference. If she doesn't know, you know. So then it was great, because then Amy, in her next lesson, started off with this, you're going to need to know the word aloud, you know, and actually circled aloud and circled deny. So it's just kind of that word conscious, being aware, like, wow, I mean, the words are everywhere, and sometimes you're like, can't teach them all. And can you teach them all? Probably not, but the ones that you choose to teach And then next time, am I allowing you to go to recess today, or am I denying you to go to recess? So how do you then, when, like Nudie does, she goes and puts them on the board, so that helps her to remember to use allow and deny throughout the rest of the day. Does that make sense? Okay, so what we're gonna do now is you guys are gonna pick some words. I have four Newsella articles, and I have 2 different levels, and you can work in groups. So this time you have to work with someone who's of your language. So this had, so who wants English? Okay, so I'm gonna give all the English to Ryan. You can decide if you want the high, you can.
Lexile.
Yeah. And
Gail taught me that.
find 3 structures in there that you and your partner want to teach. And here, the Spanish, I have the same thing, the same article in Spanish. Okay, who are my Spanish teachers? Okay, perfect. So I have 3 copies of that too. So your job now is to take 5 minutes or go through and figure out, hey, this would be a great word. Maybe you guys want to, I don't know, maybe you want a different levels, however, your kindergarten, maybe. Hello.
Yeah, Leslie.
Okay, the assignment for missing tonight, we missed you, is you need to pick some language structures. So either pick a read aloud. If you are having trouble on what the source is, we used a Newsella article, used Spanish and English on the Day Without Immigrants that took place last week. But you can use something that you're going to be teaching your students. Pick 3 to 5 language structures. And the idea is that you eventually want your students to access and read that article, which is why you're picking the words from there, and then create a story with those words. Right, child? Oh, and I'll give you some of these in your box.
I go on the internet.
Oh yeah, and go on. Oh yeah, and go to the internet and do an image search for those words. So you're gonna write your actual word here and put an image with it as well. And then maybe on the back, get a little fancy, some different multiple meanings. We'll have some other pictures for you to see later. Thank you very much. Pinkies, both pinkies. Okay, thank you. I just have a quick little what do you call that?
Interjection.
Interjection. So basically what you guys are going to get to do is you're going to create a little card that has your word launched, and then you can print your image right here. You might not in class have time to do all this every time. And then what we've done sometimes is put some examples on the back, or this is actually a QR code to some video. Because like Ryan just had a great idea. What was your little thing? Nationwide. And so of course, that little jingle is going to be.
Nationwide is on your side.
Yeah, so he would look for that and make a little QR code. If you need help on making QR codes, that's the advanced course. Probably just like looking at me like I'm crazy. If you want to do that, I'll help you. But then
Kindergartners with a QR code?
No, they don't. Oh. But it's good for, I don't know what it's for. So anyway, then I'm going to give you some bags. Each group gets 2 of these bags with some props. And then you're going to actually come up here and teach your story for us. Who's excited about that?
Story with our words.
Yeah, but so here's an important thing. Actually, what was your question?
I don't know, I had one. Maybe
Well, I said, anyway. It doesn't have to be a set story or like generally. It can be a set story or it can be generally if you want something to happen. It doesn't have to be perfect. But yes, the main thing you have to have are your structures that you know you're going to teach these, however you're going to teach these, and an image or something that goes with it. And I'm going to give you some props to play with. So if you happen to get the moose,
The moose.
this was your moose?
Love it. I'm glad you're using it.
No, this is a moose. I got this moose in Maine. Are you sure? Positive.
Okay.
Because I bought a moose and a lobster. But anyway, so I'm going to give you some props that you can play around with. It doesn't have to be exactly to yours, or if you have specific ones. I think it's important too that the props don't have to be exactly. It doesn't have to be about a moose, but it's certainly not about a moose, and then that's fun too. Okay, so the instructions are you pick up your 3 or 4 structures, write them out, and then Shelley will go to the printer to get the images, and Paulina will find some glue. She's pretty good at that.
Check my room is taken
And
by
then
50.
at 5:15, we will start to tell our stories.
Oh, okay.
Great. Okay. Start starting off, have the words and say, so-and-so talking, you keep track of how many times I say what it is we want you to say.
Okay.
Okay, break.
Okay, action. Barry the bluebird, along with Larry the lobster and Zany zebra, each an immigrant, were all aimed squarely at becoming citizens of the United States. Together. Who was? Go ahead.
Who was aiming squarely? Was it Barry the Bluebird or Ryan Burr?
Larry the
Bluebird. Okay.
Barry the Bluebird was aimed squarely at becoming a citizen of the United States. That's right. Was Ryan Burr aimed squarely or was Zany Zebra aimed squarely at becoming a citizen of the United States?
Zany zebra.
Right down to the
The
threats.
zebra was. Was Larry the lobster aimed squarely
Oops.
at becoming a fireman or at becoming a citizen?
Citizen.
A citizen.
Exactly. Okay. Our characters came from all walks of life and united together wanted to become citizens. Okay.
I pledge allegiance.
Okay.
Did they want to learn how to shave? Did they want to become citizens?
Wanted to become
That's right. They united together, juntos, to become citizens. Did they unite together to grow flowers or to become citizens? They united as immigrants to become, I would have this posted on the board, wish I could film them. Citizens. They did not grow flowers. Did they unite to become a ballerina?
No.
Or did they unite to
Mr. Calling,
become
Mr. Burr.
citizens? Yeah, Brian was supposed to carol.
He did.
Okay. Luckily, our friends passed the exam and became citizens of the United States and moved to Dillon Valley and lived happily ever after.
Okay, awesome. Engaging story? Yes. Excellent. The only thing I might maybe want to do, I would confuse myself. Somebody in one of your three kids could be
Larry Lobster.
they're the lobster,
Zebra.
so that you can move them around a little bit. Because sometimes, I mean, just, and then maybe Larry the, or what's your kid with an L?
Barry the
Leo.
Bluebird and Larry the
You
Lobster.
have Leo.
Louise the
Leo
lobster. So you, Leo the
Louis,
lobster,
yeah.
and Louie the bluebird. So the more that you can take and
Bruno the bluebird.
take those three kids, but also really great circling, asking questions, and it's always fun to do something that's not, because that's, you know, you can always throw the leg in. The other, and I really liked how at first I was nervous about aim squarely, you jumped right into it. That one may have needed a little, at the very beginning, a little of establishing meaning.
Background knowledge.
Well, just aim squarely means when you really want something, you're going straight for it, just 2 or 3 sentences. But does she want to spend a whole bunch of time on the definition? No. Typically, it's all about defining this. She made up for that by tenfold because she used it so much in context.
But no, good point. Good
So
point.
just one little explain the difference between it, then use it as much as you did. Awesome. Applauso. Good job, guys.
Sorry, I have to go. I had to take my kids.
Okay, who, F?
Aim squarely.
Actually, do you guys want to go, I think you gotta leave, right? You guys have to leave?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Everyone goes and leaves. If nobody left, okay, that's what we have to do here ourselves. Sorry, these guys have to leave. Are we getting a picture of each one? I forgot.
I didn't do a
Did
photo.
anyone take a picture of them?
Larry the lobster.
So, right, okay, just to go back to this, then after doing that, he hands them the Newsella article. How much more are they gonna get out of that?
That's true.
You know,
They're
I
gonna
mean,
see
that, so
that.
we
The
backwards plan,
repetition.
yeah, it's gonna be awesome. feel free to use it with your kids if you want. It's pretty, my kids came after, I mean, I felt bad I was in Mexico during the Day Without Immigrants, but they all had a lot to say about it.
Basically, we're an immigrant over there.
Yeah, but I felt not the same, I mean, it was pretty easy to.
Restaurants in Rome are closed.
Oh.
Mexican food.
Like tacos, tequila, and whatever.
That's awesome.
Sure.
And a lot of the housekeepers didn't go to work.
Take it away.
Okay, this is Miss Red reporting on the current protest happening downtown aimed at yellow corn. The solidarity shown today against yellow corn is unbelievable. We're going to move over to Granny, who is on the scene.
No more yellow corn.
Well,
No more
Red,
yellow
as you
corn.
can see,
No
all
more
bears
yellow
and
corn.
monkeys and all
No more
species of
yellow
animals
corn.
are all joining
No more
together and
yellow
uniting
corn.
in solidarity against yellow corn.
We protest against yellow corn. No more yellow corn.
It looks like they haven't made any signs yet, though.
We forgot to make signs. What will we do?
Oh no!
Oh, we need help
Protest!
from our
Ask
friends.
those people.
Can you help us with signs? We need to make some protest signs. No more yellow corn. We protest.
Yellow corn.
What would you write on a protest sign to take corn down? I like bananas.
I like no more yellow corn.
I told Mommy I wanted a banana and she gave me yellow corn.
No!
Yeah, we must protest.
Let's protest!
No more yellow corn.
No more yellow corn! No more yellow corn!
No more yellow corn.
We have signs!
Yay! Friends, can you come
Awesome,
up and
thank
help
you.
us protest against
that's
yellow corn?
Red, it looks like we are having members coming out of the woodwork. Everybody is protesting. The solidarity is amazing.
No more yellow corn!
No more yellow corn. No more yellow corn.
Is white
Wait,
corn okay?
It looks
I don't know. I just wanted a yellow banana.
No more yellow corn!
Oh, it looks like there's an important announcement happening. What's going on with the bullhorn?
Oh.
No. Corn was thrown onto the ground.
And we're going to, aim the yellow corn.
Our protest is aimed at yellow corn. Our protest is aimed at yellow corn in solidarity, united, together.
No more yellow corn. No more yellow
No more yellow corn.
Wow, who likes the intro hook? That was awesome.
He likes smacking the corn.
Yeah, super engaging, great to bring the people up from the audience. The more you can do that, and you could have even had them stay out there, come up, anything, however your classroom works. You guys,
Vale, podemos Bueno, el negocio,
also
¿no?
kind of wanted to start from the beginning and just make sure they knew aimed, because you aimed right at the protest, which is a good, that's an awesome picture of aiming. But again, you can take a couple sentences to explain to the kids ahead of time, and maybe has anyone ever aimed a squirt gun at their brother? Has anyone, this protest is going to be aimed at? So maybe just a little more explicit. You certainly know how to use it in context. Perfect. Awesome. Wow, I love the actions are awesome. Yeah, enthusiasm. Who? Okay, you guys. Oh no, Em. Okay.
Whoa,
That's good, you guys.
solo act.
Can you can do that with your kids? You're gonna? Okay, good. That's practical. You can borrow the shoe if you want. But it is definitely comes back to senior needs. Em, do you need any help?
Sí, necesito ayuda.
I can hold things.
Oh, perfecto, Ryan. Tú puedes ser helada, violeta. Okay. Ryan is helada, violeta. Come on. Baila. Okay. Está ubicado. El reloj está ubicado en la pared, arriba, ¿sí? ¿Está? ¿El reloj está ubicado abajo o arriba?
Abajo.
Abajo, no, el reloj está ubicado arriba.
Arriba.
Arriba. El reloj está ubicado arriba. Está ubicado cerca de David. Cerca de David, el niño malo, travieso. Normalmente, Todd está ubicado en su salón, ¿verdad? Allá. El sol está ubicado aquí en la silla o está ubicado en el cielo.
En el cielo.
No respuesta.
And then, so they can always point, right? Then you know that they understand. So
Sí.
they might not know cielo yet, but you give them the head. Todd now figured out.
Ubicado
Yeah.
en el cielo. Okay. Then,
Está ubicado is.
ya, ¿qué significa está ubicado? ¿Qué piensan?
Located?
Está ubicado. ¿Qué?
Located?
Oh, yeah. Cuarto de julio. Cuarto de julio, para Shelley. Está ubicado. Okay.
How am I doing? Good?
Okay. Okay. El hada está ubicado en su casa.
De Costa Rica.
No. No está en Costa Rica. Oh, well.
Sorry.
Okay, tal vez el yogur vino de Costa Rica. El oso azul.
No.
El oso azul. Gracias. Y yo sé que estás pensando. El oso azul, que se llama azulín, okay? I thought you guys had to leave.
I do.
Audience participation.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's a real transition.
El oso azul. Okay, Lynn, ¿qué es el oso azul en inglés?
Blue bear.
Oh, Lynn. Lynn conoce.
know
sus
my
osos.
colors.
Y los osos. El oso azul, que se llama azulín, está ubicado, ¿ok? Está ubicado en Sudán, África, ¿ok? Azulín está ubicado en Sudán, África. Normalmente, Azulín permaneció toda su vida. Azulín, bebé, joven, más joven, más adulto. Toda su vida. Por ejemplo, Ryan, toda su vida, permaneció en Oregon hasta como 23 años, ¿ok?
Sí, 23.
Leslie permaneció en Michigan por su vida. Paulina permaneció en México, ¿ok? Lynn permaneció en Philly, ¿ok?
The heart of Philadelphia.
Ok,
Cheesesteak.
Azulín permaneció toda su vida en su pueblo, en Sudán. Ay, ¿dónde estás? Con una estrella roja. En Sudán, África. Permaneció en Sudán. Permaneció en Sudán. Amy, en inglés. El oso azul permaneció en Sudán.
Sí.
No, en inglés, por favor.
He grew up in Sudan.
Oh, ok.
Yeah.
Bear.
Paulina, ¿qué significa permaneció?
Stayed or.
Okay, mejor. I mean, not that wasn't.
No. That's, I was trying to figure out, like, what does it mean?
But that's,
Everybody started when they were little and know.
well, and that's kind of what, if you don't have the luxury of
Otra vez.
speaking the other language,
Grew up?
No.
Stay.
you,
Stayed?
Stay.
Oh.
Or
Permaneció.
remain, actually.
so
Yeah.
a lot of the examples were that.
Remained.
So, remained.
Vermont.
Yeah, so toda su vida permaneció en África. Como esta mujer permaneció Sentado. El hombre permaneció sentado. La mujer permaneció
So,
acostada con su margarita. ¿Okay? Permaneció afuera con su margarita. Sus hijos gritaban, permaneció con su margarita. Ok, so el oso azul, azulín. Toda su vida permaneció en Sudán, África, okay, con su amiga Violeta. Violeta también. Toda su vida permaneció en Sudán, África. Okay. Una noche.
can I just interrupt just while you're transitioning? How many reps did she use for permaneció?
Oh, like 10 or
So, I mean, that's
yeah.
awesome, right? So
Yeah.
those of you that don't speak Spanish, even though you didn't get the accuracy piece down as far as grew up or stayed, you got the permaneció, you heard it enough. And also bringing in the rest of us, making it personal, like when she mentioned Michigan, I felt so happy. So that's really good. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, otra palabra. Sorry. Extrañamente. Okay. All right. Okay.
Violeta en tu taza. Good job there, Ryan. Good job.
Okay. Una noche. Noche. Una.
Lights off.
No hay sol. En la noche no hay sol.
Well, estoy buscando una.
And this would be like a place where if you have a native speaker who really knows a ton, oh, you know, Gail, iPad, noche, and pull it up quick, you know, so, or draw me noche, you know, you need to kind of use your other people. She's trying to look for something to make night.
Yo tengo en mi salón.
I went right
Una
to the
noche.
lights.
No, but
Lights off.
Sí. Una noche oscura. I don't need to put that in, I guess, but.
No, I didn't make it even more.
Sounded cool though.
Una noche oscura. Oh, Azulín, el oso azul, va en un helicóptero. Y Violeta permaneció extrañamente quieta, silenciosa. Now, extrañamente, ¿por qué? Violeta es una hada que habla. Pero cuando Azulín va en el helicóptero, Violeta permaneció extrañamente quieta. Por ejemplo, Ryan normalmente come, pero maestra Emilia le ofreció palomitas y Ryan extrañamente dijo no tengo hambre. Extrañamente no tuvo hambre. Paulina, ¿quieres traducir?
On and off or strangely. I mean.
No.
Strangely.
Oh, the whole thing. Oh, sorry.
No, una parte.
So Ryan usually is hungry, but strangely enough, he said no. So
Okay.
the whatchamacallit, the fairy, strangely, she remained quiet,
No.
even though, assuming,
Permaneció quieta. Tan, 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 tan. A continuación.
Awesome, and it's also great how she used permaneció in two contexts. Stayed in somewhere in Michigan and stayed, remained straight, remained quiet or remained straight, you know, so the both ways that you would use that word. Whoa, Em, loved it, loved the personalization, loved bringing the people up, tons of reps. And then so you kind of realize yourself, the only like, oh, I got noche, I don't need oscuro
Can I borrow this?
at the moment.
Oh, yes.
What is that?
There's a book.
Okay, think of the word obscure, dark,
Yeah, just, it'd be another word that you might don't want to maybe put in if you're trying to get to your other words.
Right.
Okay, guys?
That's good.
Yeah, okay. Ah, un negocio. ¿Qué es un negocio? Petco es un negocio. City Market es un negocio. Target es un negocio. ¿Qué más es un negocio?
Walmart.
So
Walmart es un
so this is
negocio.
a good, she says store, so
Ajá,
keep going with
sí,
her.
una tienda como Target,
Well,
Give
una
her some other things.
corporación.
como una tienda como Ann Taylor, es un negocio, ¿sí? ¿Un negocio?
Sí.
¿Sí?
Google.
Un restaurante.
Un restaurante. McDonald's es un negocio.
Wilderness Sports es un
Wilderness
negocio.
Sports es un
No, I want
negocio.
you to say that.
Tacos Tequila es un negocio.
DSW.
Sí, muy bien. A business.
I
Business.
wanted her to continue, it's
Ah,
not a
no,
store.
negocio. Negocio es a business. Se quedaron. Se quedaron means to stay.
Se quedaron.
Permaneció, se quedaron, es igual. ¿Ok?
So that's so cool. Once,
Es
you
lo
know,
mismo, la
yeah,
misma
once kids know this, we know like permaneció, then she can tie it to something
Se
else.
quedaron.
She can stay in Spanish. If the kids know stayed, it's the same.
Llevó. Nuria. Nuria llevó el camión a Ryan. Llevó
You're
es
gonna say
take,
drive,
or
right?
took.
It's not.
Took, okay? Not give, took.
O carry.
Took, or carry.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right here, just because it's important. So, we try to say in Spanish 99% of the time, but this, to all of us, is a great use of the L1. Took it, carried it, because if you don't have the other language, you don't have it, but Paulina has it. So she could spend here 10 minutes with Lynn guessing, drive it, all kinds of things. And then finally she gets it and you move on. You'd be much better off telling them what it is and then using it. So no one's ever gonna be mad at you for using your L1. You realize right now, gosh, she's got a great picture, she's doing it, it still isn't clear. Tell them what it is in their L1, move on. Awesome, Paulina.
Y cerraron. Abierto, cerrado. Muy bien. Ok. Necesito voluntarios. ¿Quién quiere, Miss Linda? Miss Linda, ¿quiere ser el cocodrilo o quiere ser el perro? El perro. ¿Quién quiere ser el cocodrilo?
Yo quiero ser.
¿Quién quiere ser Petco? El negocio Petco. ¿Quién quiere ser el negocio Petco? Todd.
No es fácil.
Aquí. El negocio Petco es aquí.
Okay.
Está ubicado alto.
Está ubicado.
¿Qué más?
Y ya.
Ya está.
¿Sí? No,
La comida.
la comida. ¿Quién quiere ser la comida? La comida.
La comida que está en el negocio.
La comida que está en Petco. ¿Sí? Lynn es la comida. ¿Sí? Ok. Muy bien.
El niño.
Ese
Nos
es
falta
Ryan,
el niño.
El niño. ¿Ryan es un niño o una niña?
Niño.
Niño.
I got that.
Miss Linda es una niña. Ok. Ryan, el niño. El cocodrilo está en Petco.
Está en el negocio el cocodrilo.
Comiendo.
No comiendo, está en Petco.
¿Dónde está el cocodrilo? ¿En el negocio o en su casa?
¿Dónde está el cocodrilo?
Petco.
Muy
En
bien, el
Petco.
negocio.
El negocio.
Negocio.
Ok. El niño llevó. ¿Dónde está llevó? El niño llevó al perro a Petco.
¿Qué llevó el niño? ¿El perro o el cangrejo?
El perro.
El perro, muy bien. El niño
Llevó
al perro. Llevó al perro.
A Petco. Pero Petco está cerrado. Petco está abierto.
No.
No, Petco está cerrado.
¿Quién cerró Petco?
¿Quién?
No lo sabemos.
El cocodrilo
Oh, no.
cerró. El niño y el perro se quedaron afuera. ¿Entraron a Petco o se quedaron afuera? Se quedó afuera, ¿sí? Permaneció afuera. El cocodrilo cerró Petco el negocio porque, ¿por qué cerró el negocio? Porque el cocodrilo quiere dormir. El cocodrilo cerró sus ojos, ¿no? Cerró Petco, pero cerró sus ojos.
No más.
Y el cocodrilo se quedó dormido. ¿El cocodrilo se quedó afuera o se quedó dormido?
Dormido.
Se quedó dormido. El cocodrilo no se quedó afuera. ¿Se quedó afuera?
No.
No, el cocodrilo se quedó dormido.
Sí, ya está.
Ya está. ¿Qué más era mi cuento? Ya está. El perro y el niño llevaron comida a casa.
No.
¿Llevaron comida a casa?
No.
No, no llevaron comida a casa.
Petco está cerrada.
Porque
La comida es mía.
Y colorín colorado, este cuento se ha acabado.
Awesome. And how did you guys like how they went over the words ahead of time?
Yeah.
It was helpful. Not that you would be able to, you're going to need a whole lot more reps, but it was clear, and I loved how you had to hold the words that you were talking about while you're doing it. Se quedaron. Woo! Awesome! Can you guys teach that story?
I could teach it. Not that I need any of these structures, but
Yeah,
let's
you
go.
do. Se quedaron.
Se quedaron,
Well, Nuria, tú sí puedes. Sí. Okay, cool. Okay, last group. If you don't want to go, you don't have to because we like to leave early.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job, Tina.
You want to share your words?
Yeah, we're gonna just, Lynn, if you'll just, you can show the words, and
Model the
Amy
words.
has a story here.
I'll be Vanna.
And then we were gonna do some reteaching of uncommon and common.
Well, look at their great picture.
So, and uncommon and common, we thought that was kind of difficult. And in the story that Amy's going to share, you'll see a common and an uncommon horse. And Ryan, you're going to be our horse. Just to pick on you.
Denominators.
Are you reading the story? How are we doing this?
So what we didn't get to was a lot of reps, but
We have pretty cards.
But that's okay. That's the time, and you can all.
It's all
you know,
about the art.
If the story's not too long, you can tell it over and over again, and you could, you know, you need a new horse, and you know,
Right, so we had ideas to make it longer, so,
you want to read the story? real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I need a horse and an uncommon horse. I need two volunteers.
I think Ryan has already thinks he's a horse.
Okay. Are you ready? I remember the story. All right, it's really short. Lynn lives in the United States, and she has a common horse. She was Snapchatting with her friend Matthew. Oh, I need Matthew. Yeah. Oh, Matthew. Okay.
I was gonna go get him and I forgot.
That's good. She was Snapchatting with her friend Matthew from Iceland with an uncommon Icelandic horse. Lynn wants to visit Matthew and his uncommon horse and unite the common and the uncommon horse.
And then they'll get reunited later.
And you drugged her.
You don't feel so good.
Matthew wants to protest when he finds out it is, oh wait, am I doing, I am right. When he finds out it is illegal for the common horse to go to Iceland.
Not good. No?
No. So Matthew protests, and the common and the uncommon horse cannot unite.
Oh.
Such a sad story.
It's a love story that never happened.
Awesome story though, because that's kind of what's happening, I mean, relating it to what's going on right now. Great pictures, great words, great, and so that, Amy, you're actually reading that story?
We read it, and it is illegal for horses outside Iceland to go to Iceland, and if an Icelandic horse leaves Iceland, they can't come back.
Oh.
Yeah.
And those are great words. Awesome. Okay, you guys, really great class. I mean, as far as what you've all done, I hope you can use some of this stuff. Hope you got something. Please put your, just my props back in the little bags, please.
Not sure which bag.
I know. I can put them. I can do that later, just as long as they. Awesome. And then they have homework, or only the people that didn't come. Oh, you know what? You do have homework.
What?
It's not hard. Oh no, se fue la luz.
No hay.
No hay.
Ya no hay tarea.
That means homework's canceled.
Put it in the classroom.
Okay.
It's on Google Classroom.
Fire truck.
I guess this would.
Nice.
Anybody want any uncommon